Welcome everyone to Voices of Terminus show number 9. I am joined today with my co-host DeLindsay as usual, and we have a special guest with us today. We have BuzWeaver. Say hello, BuzWeaver.
Hey guys.
And in the background, as usual, we have Kodiak with us. Say hello, Kodiak.
Good afternoon.
And of course, our wonderful web admin and everything, Lexa. Say hello, Lexa.
Hello, everybody.
And today we're going to touch on atmosphere, climate system, and situational gear. We've kind of talked about these things in our previous streams, but we never got into it as a single element. So we're going to touch on that and then announce some other things. And let me start by reading off what atmosphere climate system is all about. So, one of Pantheon's tenets is engage the world. When we talk about being a PvE MMO, our definition of environment means a lot more than just fighting NPCs. Players will be contending with the world itself. Some regions will be very hot or cold. Some areas within a zone might be enchanted with complete darkness or silence, meaning spoken spells won't work, or poison or miasma. Some small tornadoes could travel through a region, compelling players to work their way around them, not through them. At least they take significant damage. Also, certain spells may work better or worse, even only work, depending on the climate or atmosphere. For example, a core lightning spell could deal more damage than a typical lightning bolt spell, but could only be cast if there is a storm in the region. So that's what we're talking about. And general idea is basically me myself, I've been asking for this kind of system in an MMO for the last 10 years. We do have, rain and darkness and kind of like snow areas and hot areas and stuff, but I want to actually see it be like a real weather system, and I'm kind of hoping that they try and approach it that way as well, on top of other elements within the atmosphere and climate system. So what are your thoughts, guys? What do you think? Anybody want to kick it off? Nope.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes, it's definitely an interesting thought. I mean, the example of running through a region with your normal spells. So you as a summoner, for instance, now would have some kind of spell, and all of a sudden a storm appears, and you could zap off energy from that to make your spell more powerful, or cast an extra spell that would appear. It's really, really interesting. Where they're going to go with it, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. I mean, being able to enhance your spells like that or kind of penalize you in gameplay is kind of cool, because your environment should be a little bit challenging as well. Not just NPCs going around and schwacking on you, but the environment can actually kind of put you in a predicament and schwack you along the way. So I think that makes for some interesting gameplay, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one thing in a lot of games today where you go to any old zone and, a fight is a fight is a fight. Here, it's going to be not only what you're fighting, but where you're fighting. And some people may say, well, I'm a fire mage. I'm going to try to stick to just this desert region because fire does better. It's going to make a lot of zones more interesting for everybody, because especially the first time around, because you're going to be learning things and be like, why am I in this frozen tundra using Ice Comet and I'm only hitting for 200 when the spell hits for 8? Like, oh wait, I'm throwing snowballs at Yetis. Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take it even that much further, because based on the season, excuse me. So like during the winter in any zone, doesn't matter. During the winter, your ice comets are going to do more damage, and during the summer, maybe some sunburst or something should do more damage. So it wouldn't be strictly, if I'm going to go to a lava zone or I'm going to go to a tundra to get that bonus. It should be summer versus winter.
Yeah.
In all the zones.
Yep. So Buzz, any ideas towards that system? Any thoughts come to your mind? You're starting to explore Pantheon yourself and get into it.
It seems only natural that that the environment would affect how spells are cast and how the players interact with the environment, and it could affect it. And coming from survivalist games, you get accustomed to that type of environment. Now, how they're going to do it in an MMO should be pretty interesting as far as how our characters, because I'm more used to how a character feels versus what kind of spells they can use in a survival game.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to be really curious how they're going to work out as far as the mana build up and what types of spells we'll be able to cast and those effects based upon the weather.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be very interesting to see which way they go. So, any other ideas? Any suggestions towards what they could do with it, guys?
Well, I want to get to the gear part of it.
You want to get to the gear part of it. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. So I think it's hard to really get in depth with this system without actually seeing it for what it is. So what we'll do is, guys, we're going to move on over now to the actual situational gear part of the segment, and then that's going to be a bit more broader. Check it out though, guys. Check out the Pantheon Diffrence on their website about all the dynamic things that are going to interact with one another. It should be really interesting, and we'll switch over now to the situational gear part. I'm going to quickly go and read off of this. Situational gear. In Pantheon, there often won't simply be a weapon or piece of gear that is the absolute best item for your character's class and level. Instead, many items will be more situational, and the player will need to ask himself, where am I? What am I doing? Going to fight next? And who in my group is what class, and what items do they have that may help defeat the next encounter? Items that protect against climates, atmospheres, areas of extreme heat or cold or disease or absolute darkness will often be important. So also will Bane items that are especially effective against certain types of mobs, for example the undead or dragon kind. So it sounds like your typical stat gear, but they've gone one further now. So it's automatically, your gear is going to impact you depending on what environment you're going to be in and depending on what kind of monsters you're going to encounter. So if you're like a crusader or a dire lord and you're running through the desert, or you're a cleric and you're wearing plate armor, it's going to affect you. So, and that's pretty cool. A lot of questions have come up with this throughout the forums and over the last couple of weeks and so, is how are they going to approach this? Are we going to be having to carry a ton of different sets of armor with us, or will we have a separate slot and stuff like that? So let's dig into it, and we'll let BuzWeaver give his first thoughts to this.
Yeah, it's going to be curious how this is going to affect the weight, because as we know from EQ, monks usually would gripe and complain that for us to shut our coin off so they wouldn't be getting it all on their character. You remember in EQ2 they also were going to come out with some type of cart design where you could travel from one zone to another zone, and how that was going to be carried. Weight I think should always have an issue, or should be an issue in the game, because it's about inventory management, whether it's your gear or what you're carrying, and it's all very important that it be there, as opposed to just letting people carry whatever they want to carry, because obviously it's going to affect your dexterity, your movement, your character's ability to get around and get over things. So I think they should probably introduce something very similar to what we saw in EQ, with maybe some other little variants in between.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that, like was just saying, if they're wearing plate armor, their full body's covered, versus a caster who's in cloth and it's the summer, of course the caster should be able to move faster than the guy who's got 100 pounds of plate armor on him. Now vice versa, in the winter, the guy who's nice and warm, because he's got the plate armor on, should be able to move faster than the guy who's freezing to death in there's cloth armor.
Yep.
Yeah. That sounds cool. I mean, there's got to be some sort of, limitations and restrictions. I mean, you shouldn't just be able to carry everything you own on your person.
Yeah, this is going to be a system that I really hope they start out in baby steps. Like, even if it's just something simple, like if you're wearing a tin can and you're in the desert, you're going to use twice as much water as someone wearing a nice breezy robe. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be messing with,
Super penalizing.
yeah, like super in depth when release comes around. I would like to see them just take it in baby steps, slowly add more and more, and then, because if they go a little too high, you can dial it back a bit and find that nice sweet spot to where it's adding enough to your MMO experience, keep you interested, and to set itself apart, but not enough to where you're like, oh god, there's just so much stuff to deal with. I'd rather just, go do another game where I just stand there and whack at a wall until it dies, kind of thing.
So,
But I think that also might come into play, those little ruins in the sack or whatever, like if you're running through the winter, you might grab some cold resist and, stack it onto your person or something like that. And, so you have to go farm those cold resist ruins or whatever they were called, versus, like fire resist or heat resist or, whatever it is, so that you can go into those certain like climate areas,
Another thing that's, kind of interests me. I'm more of the RP guy when it comes to this kind of thing, and I always try and look at it in terms of real life. Let's say we do have a pack pony, for instance, and you got your tank or whatever, your clerics and everything, and we're like in the desert, and this dude's wearing plate armor. Technically, this guy would just drop dead no matter how much he drinks and everything, wearing that armor suit. I mean, a lot of weight and all that stuff. Do you think there would be ways, or is there something that they could do that would still, give you as a tank or plate carrier ways to like loosen up your armor that still make you effective?
I just thought something with that pack pony thing, so basically that's your mount, right? You're riding around, he's carrying all the weight of your stuff around. When you get to that dungeon or that area that you're ready, what you get off your horse, you put on your plate armor and you go into that dungeon. When you get out of that dungeon, you come out, you offload it, put on your cloth shit so you're lighter, and then go and travel, know?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
Go ahead, Dal.
Just, I think that'd be an awesome idea to be able to take it up, put it in like a horse, but I think the horse or pack mule type idea should be kind of like a small sort of inventory, like another backpack, so to speak, and that's about it. You can't fill it full of crap, but you just have enough space to maybe put another suit of armor or something so you can change and adapt to your environment that you're actually playing in at that time.
As a caster, I'm a little disappointed in all you guys. The buffs, man! The buffs! Throw me some buffs! That's all I used to hear when I played a druid and caster kite, a shaman. Give me those strength buffs, give me those haste buffs. So it's going to be interesting, like you guys are saying, you guys are talking about the physics of the game. And we got to remember, too, this is a magical world. So there's probably, hopefully we're going to have people in the party that can give us buffs that will perhaps lighten that load. So again, we're talking about balancing the physics of reality versus the magical realm that we're in. So you guys are making very valid points. So it is going to be interesting to see how they balance these things out. But those tanks are always going to ask for those strength buffs all the time. Yep. Or maybe even the casters are going to want those strength buffs too.
Yeah, I still like to see, though, certain, because no matter how many buffs you give me, dude, when it's raining, I'm going to get wet. So, if I'm in the forest with you guys and it starts to rain and everything, we're going to have to put on our raincoats.
Well, your hood should automatically come up over your head in the rain, to cover your face,
Because, that's what they've been talking about. If you look at the Pantheon Diffrence, the dynamic world and everything, it's going to impact us with everything we do, and everything's kind of like connected. So that little shred of realism, I mean, even the guys in Lord of the Rings got wet, for Christ's sake. Yeah, they had Gandalf the Grey. They still got wet. He couldn't cast a spell that kept them dry and put a nice shield over their heads or an umbrella-like, So a little touch of realism for the people that really are looking for that, it could be very interesting. That's for
Well,
sure.
like I said, you go into a rainy area because you have a cloak on, the hood automatically pops over your head because you're in the rain now, something like that.
Yep. Well, but the thing is, if you're a monk, yeah, you're not gonna have a hood. You're gonna have like, a crossed over chest piece that's just, going over your breasts, and
Yeah, but then you may need to equip a cloak of
exactly.
some sort
Yep.
in order to have that hood.
Yep. And it should impact us, definitely.
Hmm.
So
Or you're gonna freeze to death.
exactly. Any thoughts? Any ideas towards this from the chat? Let's go and have a look, see what chat's saying.
Yeah, Lord Exor says places like deserts and ice areas. Well, shoot, the chat went fast real quick. Should have a negative buff, and armor types magic can just help mitigate some of them. Perhaps.
Yep. Also an interesting way to approach it as well. On top of their general look at how they want to do things. I mean, spells are always going to be very important to us, the buffs and everything, for tanks, for healers, for the DPS people. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a good, genuine mix of both. The classic.
The problem is if they go back to the spell book style like they're talking about or whatever, I don't want to have 7,000 different spells. Just like we're talking about carrying 7,000 different types of armor for different situations. Then I've got to go thumb through my spell book to find that buff or debuff to cast it on somebody. It's kind of a time killer.
Yeah.
But I will be curious to see if, like, for example, again, as a caster, as a druid, all those times in Karana, how many times I heard, hey, is our druid on that can stop the rain? So I'm curious if, again, going back to spells, modifying in the world, whether or not there will be capabilities by the casters to stop weather. And I'm not saying it should stop it, and then for those who are Don't Starve fans, you realize that when your character gets wet, he also gets more agitated and more irritated. So I'm curious if there will be some type of indicator or UI that will let us know that something about the weather is affecting us.
Or else, like, that makes a good point. So if it starts raining, of course your armor is getting soggy. It's getting heavier too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. So, like I said, this is kind of a short approach. There's not much we can really talk about these systems, so we've added some additions as well. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have already read the forums and stuff, but they have now 5 new team members that have joined Visionary Realms to help them forward the game.
Oh yeah. And
we are actually going to go and I'm going to read it off and introduce all the people to you guys out there on Twitchland and everything. So Visionary Realms basically have now gotten 5 further members to help further their project and bring the game forward, so we can get to the point where we have the pre-alpha testing, alpha testing, beta and everything. And Kilsin put out a post towards the community. Dear Pantheon community, please join me in welcoming 5 new members to Visionary Realms team. Now, with the name pronunciation, I do apologise, but I will try my best. Som Por Fazne joins the team as our social media manager to work alongside Ben Walters, our community manager, to even further strengthen our CM team. Som brings many years of social media and community management experience to the team and has worked for some well-known companies such as EA. Som is also an avid gamer and has even published his own novel. So there's quite a bit of experience coming from this guy, especially being in a AAA company like EA, and certainly helps Ben Walters in the community. He definitely needs help for, the amount of work he does and everything. And then secondly, they have Lynn Ashworth, who joins the team as a producer to help facilitate and manage project planning. Lynn has worked in Canada, Asia and Europe, mostly in the field of technology, as a data analyst or as a project manager, and she fell into project management producing through her love of data until she realized that leading project teams was much more rewarding. And then they have Brendan Rogers, joins the team as a senior level designer. Brendan has worked in in the games industry for over 10 years, working on titles such as the Total War series, Total War Medieval 2, Total War Kingdoms, among many others. And Brendan is also an avid gamer and is excited to use his skills and experience to help further enhance Pantheon. So they have somebody else now helping out doing the level design and stuff, so that should give them a real good boost. Next up is Sean Smith, who joins the team as Senior Technical Systems Programmer. Sean is highly experienced tech programmer and has worked on multiple AAA titles for EA, Activision, Sega and many others over the last 18 years. Sean is fluent in C, C++ and C#, and almost every assembler known to man, and has coded technical systems for almost every modern platform, PC, mobile, handheld and console. And last, they have Jordan Lightheart joins the team as a gameplay systems programmer. Jordan is a passionate MMO player. He worked for 2 years on WildStar on tools, AI and the combat system, and is now time to bring that passion to Visionary Realms, working on Pantheon. Jordan brings years of experience analysing MMOs as a player. He believes that games shouldn't just be distractions from real life, but also vibrant worlds that we can experience. So welcome to the team, Som, Lynn, Brendan, Sean and Jordan. We're thrilled to have you join us as we push ever further into bringing our shared dream to life. So those are the 5 additions they have, and all we can say is, from my view, is welcome to the family, and there's a lot of experience by the sounds of it in these 5 people.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. And another announcement to the forums. For everybody out there who has a fan site in whatever way going, or a guild, Kilsin has opened up a thread on the official forums called Fan Sites, where guilds and general related fan sites can post their info, and it will get put onto a sticky, because it's going to take, by the looks of it, a bit more time before the new forms actually get released. So in honour to everybody out there who's doing stuff, supporting them, like the Terminus Terminal or PantheonCrafters.com or us, the voice of Terminus, you guys can add your sites to it and spread the word. Yep. So just trying to kind of lost track now. I was trying to think now if I've got anything else, but that is basically the show for today.
The short show?
It's a short show
Quick and
today,
simple.
a very quick and simple show. Do you guys have any questions out there? We're gonna let you guys rush through, throw out some questions to us. And I see somebody mentioning, yep, that's what I thought as well when I read that name, Lord Extor, Brendan Rodgers, well known to me as a Liverpool fan, and that's what I thought. I was reading through it, I was like, Brendan Rodgers, that sounds very familiar. Liverpool's trainer and now Swansea. So you got any questions?
I'm BuzWeaver, by the way.
You're oh yeah.
You've been me most of the show. That's
What?
okay.
I know,
Why?
right?
What the?
They're not gonna know the difference.
What the hell happened there?
It's a major
What?
technical difficulty.
How the hell did that happen? When did that happen?
I sent you a
That
message,
happened like, what
try
was
to
it,
keep it
5
from
minutes into the
interrupting the
show?
show.
Yeah. Damn.
Awesome. So, switcheroo, guys, like we had last time. I'm telling you, Skype hates me, and so does OBS. So, any questions, guys?
Waiting, I don't see any questions yet.
Yep, I
There
stuffed
is some-
up.
There is some exciting stuff coming, though.
Certainly is.
Yeah, I've got this feeling that, not saying anytime soon, but in the months ahead, we're probably going to get one really big information drop from Visionary Realms. And although today is a short or a shortish show, when that happens, we're probably going to have to sit down ahead of time to figure out what exactly we want to talk about, because there'll be so much information that we could talk for days.
Yep.
Yeah. We got some exciting stuff coming, folks. We just can't talk about it right now, but it's coming. So it's gonna be exciting. You're gonna see some really cool stuff hitting up the stream here.
Yep. And we have on our Twitter feed a vote going on. I think you've got maybe a day or 2 days left to vote on what we're going to be streaming in the next weeks. So if you haven't checked it out, haven't done a vote yet, you got a chance now to get involved and impact what we're going to talk about. Obviously, because of voting and everything, we've put out the topics, so you can decide if we talk about lore, characters, races, or I'm trying to think about the fourth one. Classes.
Speculation.
Classes. Yeah, class speculation. Yep, exactly.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Speculation's always fun.
Yep.
Turn this into a speculation station.
Because we've been approached on multiple platforms, Twitter and everything, and people have asked us if we can talk about certain things and stuff, and we just really hope that we can get into it especially with the. I want the class speculation to kind of be the winner, because somebody's actually asked us to speculate on the summoner, and Dal being an avid summoner, it would be interesting.
Yeah, I love my magician.
And,
Love my magician EQ.
Yep. So we'll go into closing statements, and we'll start off with our guest, who's called, Delindsay at the moment. So your closing statement, BuzWeaver.
Yeah, if anyone's pursuing me legally, it is Delinza, just so you guys know. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I'm looking forward to the game as well, because I've been looking for a classic MMO, and really excited about covering it on the channel as well. I've gotten a lot of positive responses from the team, even McQuaid himself, so I'm really looking forward to maybe getting together with you guys too, and putting some work together, and having you guys on my channel and on my show as well.
Sure.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep, and
Sounds good.
Alright, we'll pass it on to Alexa.
Well, since there's not really a whole lot to go on with the information that we have this week, what I'll say is keep an eye on our website, because I'm going to put in I'm going to buckle down this next week, and I'm going to try and get something to release that everyone can use and kind of enjoy.
Yep. All the links to all the information you need is on the stream. So if you type that in on Twitter or in Facebook, Voice of Terminus, or in YouTube, or the link underneath for the website, that's how you can get in contact with us and connect. It would be great if you follow us and everything. We are grateful for your support. We really love that you guys have taken a good approach to us and seem to enjoy what we're doing. We do try our best. I mean, we've been doing this now, for 5 weeks? 5-6 weeks?
Yeah, about that, I think.
So we're still basically evolving as we go forward and stuff. So it's going to take a bit of time before we get it all worked out 100%, and we're still, we're really, really grateful. I'm going to pass something down. Now, your closing statement, dude.
My big thing is everybody who's watching, tell your friends about Pantheon. Let them know that it's still in progress. I mean, they had some hiccups when they first started out with their Kickstarter and all that stuff, but they are pushing forth. There's a lot of negative stuff out there too, so avoid that at all costs. I mean, this game is still going no matter what. They are dedicated, and a lot of the team have actually worked on it without getting paid. So that tells you how their dedication, that they're taking time out of their day to actually work on this game and put it forth. But go pledge. I mean, we've all fell into that category of sign up for a pre-alpha on Steam or pre-access or pre-beta, and you spend $29-$30. Here's an opportunity. We all got burned, sign up for some of those because they're full of bugs and crap like that. But if you looked at the Pantheon stream, the hour and 45-minute gameplay they did back in March, you can see that the platform was really stable. I didn't see any glitches and crashing and to the desktop type thing. So I recommend go watch that video and then make that determination whether you want to pledge. I would pledge. These guys are really trying to make the best thing they can with bug free as much as possible. However, every game's gonna have bugs no matter what. So go out there, take that hard-earned money, it's a good investment, I think. I invested, I pledged already, and I've been burned in the past. I've pledged money to some of these pre-alphas, and they've either never came out, they never turned out, or it didn't meet my expectations. So these guys are really working hard. So why not, do a pledge or do the, what is it, $15 a month pledge subscription sort of to the forum?
That's just access to the forums, though.
Yeah,
That
so
has to be
access the
pointed
forum.
out.
And go read and meet some of the community in there. There's a lot of prior EverQuest players in the forum in the community. So go pledge, show your support for the game. It's going to be a classic. So
like Lord X-Door said, $100 for 2 game keys, alpha access, beta access, and all the other goodies that are in there. It's definitely worth it. I mean, if we actually took that $100 package and broke it into individual pieces, I mean, we pay normally between $40 to $50 per game. You're getting 2 of those, so that's your $100 already. It's a given. You got $100 worth of stuff there. Plus, you get into the alpha, you get into the beta. I mean, it's a really good deal compared to everybody. A lot of all these early access and pledged games that are out there. And for everybody out there who does not know, you still have, I think, this weekend to take part in the Pantheon competition that is running through the official website. All you have to do is follow Pantheon MMO on Twitter, send them a tweet that's at Pantheon MMO, hashtag PRF, and then at name referral, the person who referred it to you, and type referred me. So it's basically, as an example, I would now go at Pantheon MMO, hashtag PRF, at Delinzia, referred me. Boom. That way I'm entered into the competition, and so is Delinzia, and the more people that basically get referred by one person, it kind of boosts you up the chances and everything. So if you haven't done it, you're still holding out, you're not sure if you want to get into it now, even with just the $5, $15 support, you could still win a chance. I think night pledges they've got on there, and I think a few Patreon pledges is what they're giving away, so it's worth it. And last but not least, Kodiak, you're the last.
Yeah, okay, let's get back onto the topic here. Climate change. I would like to see that not only does the summer winter thing as far as the gear and the spells, but like I said before when we were talking about the NPCs, like during the winter that camp might be full of ice goblins, and during the summer it's full of orcs, something like that to make it kind of more dynamic with the different climate changes. And I just don't want to carry around 17 different pairs of plate armor for every situation, so they got to figure something out with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get that crazy.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah,
certainly will.
It will be.
And I really hope that they'll try different solutions.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they're looking at different aspects and stuff like that too. So.
Yep.
Definitely,
And
it'll be interesting.
Just to kind of like put it out there as well. You can support these guys many ways possible. You don't have to necessarily put money to the ballot, okay? Talk about it on Twitter, talk about it on Facebook, do stuff what we're doing on YouTube and everything, spread the word, talk to people, tell them it's there in your respective countries from where you come from and everything. Every little bit helps. It doesn't not have to be money, because I can understand, like Dow's pointed out, being burnt by previous companies, games and everything. The industry is on a very thin line at the moment where the balancing is starting to get out of whack because of so many games promising stuff and then completely failing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be money, but talk about the game, guys. Spread the word, show them your love. And with that,
I think one of the most important things to actually help the game right now is just to spread a positive attitude towards it.
Yeah, exactly. Keep positive about it. Look forward to it. I mean, the game's still in production, and I've always put the disclaimer out there, and I'll put it out here again. We do a lot of speculation on the channel as far as what we can. But ultimately, go to the website, read about the Pantheon Diffrence, the lore and stuff like that. But ultimately, right now we're speculating. But like we said, we got some cool stuff come up. I would suggest that you tune in Wednesday, the 18th of May, for a special treat. So tune in Wednesday, 18th of May. You're gonna have
Yep.
something really cool here on our channel.
Yep. And with that, guys, thanks for joining us. Short stream, kind of out of whack a bit, with BuzWeaver and Delincia being switcherooed and stuff. And thanks again for the support, guys. We will be back next Thursday. Depending on how the vote goes, but on the looks of it, it will be classes. And should classes win, we're going to start off with the summoner and speculate on him, because we've been approached by a few people to talk about him. And with that, guys, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Spread the love. See you later, yeah? Say goodbye,
Easy, guys.
guys.
Bye.
See you next week.